everyone. My name is Malcolm Graham, the chairman of the Great Neighborhood Committee, and I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to our Wednesday, January 20th meeting of our committee. In case you hadn't heard, we have a new president and vice president, so I want to send congratulations to our new administration in D.C. Let's get started by introducing the council member in the room, which is only me, so Malcolm Graham, and then we'll go to those who are visiting with us virtually, members of the committee. You can introduce yourself.
Victoria Watlington, District 3.
Tarek Bakari, District 6.
Thank you, Victoria and Tarek, for being here with us today. We're waiting for Mayor Pro Tem, and Mr. Winston may or may not be joining us this afternoon. Staff members, those who are virtually, could you start introducing yourself, and then we'll come into the room.
Hello, this is Tiffany Blackwell with the Office of Strategy and Budget.
Willie Ratchford with the Community Relations Committee.
Okay, we see Anna on screen, but we was not able to hear you, Anna. We acknowledge that you are here, and we'll start within the room.
Good afternoon, Pamela Weidman, City's Housing and Neighborhood Services Director.
Donata Jackson, Office of Constituent Services.
Okay, so let's get started. We got a pretty full agenda. Our Assistant City Manager also has a conflict, and he is not with us today as well. Welcome to the Mayor Pro Tem to the meeting. We're just getting started. Would you like to officially introduce yourself?
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. Julie Eisel, Mayor Pro Tem and serving at large on the committee.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. And I'll turn the meeting over to our Housing Director, Ms. Weidman, for an overview of the agenda.
Again, good afternoon, everyone. We have a few agenda items before us today. We're going to take up the Legacy Commission report that will be presented to us by Tiffany Blackwell. We will continue our discussion on the source of income discrimination, and then we'll round out the meeting with an overview of our 2020 highlights from the Great Neighborhoods Committee, and just really highlight all the great work that the committee did in 2020. So with that, I will turn back to Chairman Graham.
Thank you, Ms. Weidman. The first item on our agenda is the Legacy Commission report, and I think Tiffany Blackwell is going to lead that discussion for us. So, Tiffany, the floor is yours.
Great. Thank you all. Again, I'm Tiffany Blackwell with the Office of Strategy and Budget. I know this group has seen the Legacy Commission's report and recommendations, so I won't belabor the report too long in the interest of time. However, if you ever need to stop me if I'm going too fast, please feel free to do so. Today, we're going to briefly review the Legacy Commission recommendations, and what we're going to ask this committee to do today is approve those recommendations so that staff is able to move forward with implementing those proposed recommendations, and then identifying the next steps for the internal work team to get those recommendations implemented and accomplished. Next slide. Just for your memory, the Legacy Commission's charge was to engage in a comprehensive study of street names and monuments in the city of Charlotte that honor legacy of Confederate soldiers, slave owners, and segregationists. Next slide. And through that work, we determined that there are no monuments within the city of Charlotte currently in public spaces beyond those located at Elmwood Cemetery. And we'll ask you to consider that the cemetery, Elmwood Cemetery, is the appropriate place for those monuments to be based off of other cities participating in this work as well. We do ask, the Legacy Commission did recommend installing interpretive signage near the Confederate section of Elmwood Cemetery to explain the history there so that there's context for those Confederate memorials that are located there. Next slide. The biggest priority from the Legacy Commission were changing street names for leaders of the Confederacy and white supremacists who actively fought to defend slavery and racial equality. Please note that this is not an exhaustive list of all of those names that were recommended to be changed. However, these were the ones that had the highest priority to be changed in the quickest amount of time. And you'll see those streets listed there. One of the other recommendations when it comes to street names is about partnering with neighborhoods and developers who are trying to create new spaces and or reimagine their current neighborhoods and spaces that are in existence currently, and hoping to support those developers and neighborhoods that want to petition to have their street names or neighborhood names and have the support of the City Council to do so. Next slide. One of the other things the Legacy Commission reviewed are criteria for naming new street names, developing street names criteria for street names named after people, and assessing their worthiness of that individual by recognizing those who had an important and positive impact for the city, state, and nation, but specifically give priority to those who have had a significant connection to Charlotte, specifically honoring individuals who represent the diversity of Charlotte's past, and those names should not be for a living person who has, until the individual has been deceased for a period of no less than 5 years, which seems to be a standard in a lot of our comparable cities. Next slide. Continuing, having evaluation of street names to establish a standard for weighing morally repugnant past deeds and words against any important and positive impact that the individual had on the city, the state, or the nation. Also considering loosening street naming policy to allow the street to have both first and last names. The only exception that we have to that currently is MLK, which is the only exception we have to that current rule. And then to also consult with local historians, Louisiana Museum of the New South, and the Historic Landmarks Commission when we are creating new names to ensure that they are not, do not meet the criteria of slave ownership, leaders of the Confederacy, or white supremacists moving forward. Next slide. A big component of the Legacy Commission's work was reimagining commemorative landscapes and reimagining the city's ability to honor the past but also move forward. Some suggestions from the Commission include creating a wall with the names of enslaved people who lived in Charlotte, connecting and supporting the efforts to install the lynching memorial from the National Memorial for Peace and Justice, and then creating commemorative spaces across the city that feature Charlotteans of all backgrounds who advocated for positive change. Next slide. A big question was about the funding and how would we pay for this. A big recommendation from the Legacy Commission was to apply for a Mellon Foundation through the Mellon Foundation's Monuments Project grant, which provides funding to local governments to create new landscapes that honor persons who typically have not been honored in the past. Next slide. So we have a public hearing on January 4th. We have 3 speakers, 2 who supported the proposed recommendations and 1 person who did not. I will say, based off the feedback that we received from the online survey and also from emails that we received, a lot of the feedback has been split 50-50 or people supporting or opposed. One theme that remains to be clear, one thread that's clear through all of the feedback that we received, is that the importance of this work, the importance of educating Charlotteans, decision makers, residents about the history of Charlotte that sometimes isn't told, and then also making sure we do something to correct or modify what happened in the past moving forward. Next slide. So I'll pause there and just get a sense for the room so that staff can move forward with implementing these recommendations. We're looking for the Great Neighborhoods Committee to approve these recommendations today so that we can then move forward with implementing them. And I'll pause for questions.
Thank you, Tiffany, for the presentation. I'll open up the floor for any comments or discussions from the members. Any questions?
Ms. Wallington.
Ms. Wallington, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Blackwell, quick question for you. I got a name that came from my residents that live on a particular street. I've sent it kind of via email to wherever it goes, but I just want to know if there was another place that I could direct folks that had specific individuals for consideration.
So we do check that mailbox several times a day, and they're forwarded to me, and we save them just so we have a repository of everything that we've received. But I can triple check. If you want to forward it to me, I can just triple check to make sure that it's in that repository.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Wallington. Any other questions?
Chair?
Proceed with your recommendations. Mr. Chair, do you have a question from Councilmember Parry?
Yes, thank you. I'm going to support this, and I would just go a step further to ask staff to look into. I know this isn't something we can necessarily attach to this, but look into a policy of let's take this out of the dynamic for future councils to be distracted by and have controversy to deal with. And let's stop naming streets and things for people. Let's just get on to the order of business and name them A through Z and numbers and things like that, so that we can never have to try to anticipate the future and what might not be viewed as, kosher then today. And I'm totally agreeing with the sentiment that's brought forth today. I'm just saying there's a real easy way to prevent this from ever happening again. So there's just a comment. I know that isn't going to be included now, but something I'd like staff to look into.
I think that comment is noted as well, Council Member. Okay. I have a question too, Tiffany, but I think I'll wait until you do your recommendations. I don't want to get ahead of you, but it goes back to the street name. So the floor is yours again.
Okay. Okay. So if we can go to the next slide. So the internal work team will break this work into two different phases. The first phase I'm calling quick wins because I'm not a marketing expert. I don't know a better way to say it. Where we can hopefully get the work of supporting the neighborhoods and developers' efforts, and then submitting the Mellon Foundation application and connecting and supporting the efforts of the lynching memorial. Those are things that we think we can engage with staff and help support now. And then two, the second phase would be really the analysis of the impact on the remaining proposed recommendations to Charlotte residents and city policies. Really looking about the cost burden, how would that be distributed? How do we provide wraparound services for those property owners impacted on the streets that are recommended for changes, and really doing a deep analysis of what the really, not also the quantitative cost, but also the qualitative cost and what it would take to actually get this work accomplished.
Okay.
And I think that's all I have. I'll pause there if there's any additional questions.
Okay. I'll open up again to the committee for questions or comments in reference to the phase one, phase two approach to how we move forward. And I'll start first, Tiffany, and here's my question. So how do we get started, right? I get quick wins. I agree with that. I know there's some long-term analysis that we have to do. So what is the procedure for identifying one of those streets that were listed to begin the process of changing it, notwithstanding the fact that I don't think we should have to wait until we submit the Mellon Foundation to see whether or not we receive it or not. So how do we get started? Is there a
That's
test?
a great question.
Is there a test street that we can start? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So we're kind of, no, you're fine. I said there's not quite a playbook, so we're kind of crafting this process as we go, but that's okay. We've been relying on best practices from other cities to really help us figure out how to do this work. The first step is really just to get an approval for us to move forward. We've discussed it in a lot of different ways, but we really need a thumbs up from this committee to bring it to full council to get approval for staff to dedicate time and to get moving on these initiatives. And then the internal work group will really look at all the implications of the recommendations and provide you all in this committee an outline of how we would actually get the work accomplished for those more in-depth changing of the street names and things like that, so that we can provide you with more detail about how we could actually get that work accomplished.
As a friendly amendment to your work, could we have another bullet that kind of talks about identifying the process for how we move forward with the actual pilot? Like we identify a street and we kind of hone in on that street and kind of walk the committee and the council and the community through a process of actually changing a street name.
Absolutely.
Okay. Members, comments, feedback? And you can, Ms. Wallington, Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. McCary.
I do have a question, Mr. Chair. I wondered, we had started the process of moving the beams that represented the lynching of Mr. McNeely and Mr. McDaniel. I thought we had started the process, and I went to the memorial with some of our colleagues, and I think that was 2 years ago, and there was this whole process that was involved that I thought the Levine Museum had started already. So I wonder where we are in that process.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think there was a disconnect just about who owned that process. And so now the city is actually engaged in that work. Willie Ratchford and his team have connected me with the person from the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to actually get the work completed. I feel like it's just kind of been an intangible up until this point. So hopefully with the support of this committee and the council, we can engage in that process in a more meaningful way to get that constructed.
Okay, I know one of the steps where we had to identify where we would put the monuments, and that had to be approved by the, I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of the name of the organization, the EGM. So I wondered if, we know, we have thoughts about where that's going to be placed, and if we are actively engaged in making that decision.
I can follow up on that I think Willie's team is really connected with that work, so I can follow up on that.
Thank you.
Hey, Tiffany, quick question for you. Administratively, can DOT change names without council authority in some cases?
In some cases, they can, and I don't want to speak for, I don't think the deputy city attorney is here. Normally I can kick it to an attorney to answer all the legal questions. I think in some cases they can, but if it's a city-owned street, we have a certain policy that we would need to do to modify the street name.
Okay, yeah, I was just curious. Okay, so I think if there's not any other questions, I think I'm ready to kind of, get the thumbs up from the members to move this forward to the council for full consideration. I think we're going to amend it to add another bullet that kind of talks about a pilot program, a test case scenario, so the members know that there will be another bullet added when you see it again at council.
Mr. Graham, Mr. Winston has joined us.
Excuse me?
Mr. Winston has joined us, and he has a question.
Welcome, Mr. Winston, and you have a question.
I was actually just going to give a comment to Ms. Eisel's question about the Equal Justice Initiative work to get those markers to Charlotte and Mecklenburg County. That is a community-driven effort, and as Ms. Blackwell was saying, there is some confusion. There is some work that we need to do to consolidate that. It's not something that the city can own by itself, but needs to work with the stakeholder groups to kind of go through the process that EJI has laid out, which is pretty step by step. They control the process more than we do.
Thank you, Mr. Winston. Okay, so can I get a motion to accept the staff report as amended and forward to the council for their full consideration?
So moved.
Second.
Move and properly second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Do we need to do a roll call? Let's do a roll call just to make sure that we're safe and sorry. Mr. Winston?
I was not here for the presentation, so I'm just going to vote no.
Okay. Mr. Bakari?
Yes, then?
Yes, that's a great vote. Ms. Eisel?
Yes.
Ms. Wallington?
Yes.
And Graham votes yes, so that's approved and will be forwarded to the City Council. Tiffany, thank you very much for your presentation and all the work you've done thus far, and we look forward to working with you throughout the course of the year.
Thank you very much.
Take care. The second item on the agenda is source of income discrimination. Staff resources are here and present, and I'll turn it over to Ms. Wyman for introduction.
Good afternoon again, committee. Thank you for the time to be before you again this afternoon. What I want to do this afternoon is briefly revisit the source of income discrimination. I know you guys have heard about this a number of times. You talked about it most recently at your annual strategy meeting, and so still in committee, want to revisit it and then propose a path forward for your consideration. Just as a reminder, this came up in your housing task force that you spent, I think, about 15 weeks in this summer. This was one of the items that was discussed. It was then brought to this committee originally, I believe it was in October. In October, you all gave us a very specific charge. That committee charge was to draft a proposed local SOID ordinance, and then to complete a SWOT analysis, including some alternatives, to provide a list of cities that prohibit discrimination based on source of income discrimination. You asked us to engage within Livian to understand what mitigation factors they had, that they could help with. And I do want to acknowledge that in Livian is well aware of this and has done some great work around this to continue to address this issue. And then lastly, you all asked us to provide some alternatives and recommendations on incentives and educational opportunities to help move this forward. We came back to you at your December, I think it was your December 16th meeting, and with the help of Mr. Ratchford from the Community Relations Committee, Anna Shalones from our City Attorney's Office, and then some other members, Mr. Wooten and Mr. Vaughn from the Housing Team. We presented to you on the charge that you all had set before us. And so in that presentation, we gave you some very specific alternatives and recommendations, and I'll just rehash those really quickly. You asked us what we, based on our learnings and the data that we received through surveys, we recommended, if you would advance the slides for me, please. I think go to the staff alternative slide. Thank you. So we gave you some very specific alternatives and recommendations. One of the things we said was that we should adopt a policy requiring mandatory acceptance of housing choice vouchers and other forms of rental subsidy in all city-supported housing. We suggest doing that now. We also told you that, we reminded you that in your housing trust fund allocations, that is already being done, but we want to shore that up in all forms of our other rental subsidy and city-supported housing. So that's a policy that we recommend you all taking up as quickly as you can. We want to encourage and monitor changes to the Housing Choice Voucher Program at the federal level. Mr. Graham alluded earlier, we have a new administration as of today, and so we want to provide input, and we want to monitor changes that will be made there. And then lastly, what we suggest is to create a council-appointed ad hoc advisory group to develop program enhancements and process improvements to the Housing Choice Voucher Program that would include the representatives that you see listed here. This is not limited to the representatives that you see here, but this is what we were bringing you from a staff perspective, and as a reminder, we want your input on other representatives that should be here. And again, all of these recommendations that you see were based on kind of our conversations both locally, talking with our colleagues around the state, and knowing what has gone on with source of income discrimination across our country. And so the last alternative was, if after we've done all of these recommendations, we see that we are still not moving the needle on increasing housing choice, the acceptance of housing choice voucher, we said consider amending the Fair Housing Ordinance. Again, if we've not seen movement. I think there was a big sticking point and there were lots of questions, and so I always appreciate you all kind of pushing staff and challenging our thinking. It was around the ad hoc advisory group, that we said the ad hoc advisory group would do this work over 18 to 24 months. And so we want to take another shot at explaining kind of what that work will be. How will we get to the 18 to 24 months, and what work will be done during that time. Ms. Wallington, I think it was you, you challenged us, and this was good, to develop some metrics so we could all understand kind of what was being measured. What gets measured gets done. And so we took that advice. And so if you could go to the next slide for me. Keep going, one more slide. Want to take an opportunity to kind of walk you through how we believe the months and the work will lay out. If you all so choose, the next thing that we would do is, moving from today, we would get this in front of the entire council so that the whole council could hear the report that you all heard. I think that if you go one more slide for me. Yeah, so that the whole council could hear the presentation that you all heard at your December meeting. We think that's very important, so everybody will be on an equal playing field. If once you heard that, and if you decided to convene the ad hoc committee, we want your recommendations on who should be on that, and so you all would appoint that group, and then we as staff, as your staff, we would convene that group, and so that would occur during the February-March timeframe. If you'll go to the next slide for me, please. We would then begin our metric setting research and our proposed enhancements. And we didn't want to be too prescriptive. We want to allow the group to do the work. However, we do have a few metrics that we suggest up front. One of those would be quantifying the number of unused housing choice vouchers. We would do things like identify the reasons that those housing choice vouchers are going unused. We would also propose to work within Livian to strengthen the existing work that they're doing and develop new tenant readiness programs or additional tenant readiness programs. And then we learned a lot about what social serve is doing and what other people are doing around the country. We would investigate the expansion of housing navigators, people who work directly with landlords to increase acceptance of housing choice vouchers. So again, we didn't want to be too prescriptive, but those are just a few of the metrics that we propose and the enhancements that we propose based on the research that we did over the past several months. We certainly welcome, for those of you who want to propose some additional metrics, that would be more than welcome. If you go to the next slide for me, please, and then kind of from the May to June time frame, we would finalize the metrics with the group. And then if you go to the next slide for me, from the June to December, we would monitor the metrics that we've established and then come back to you sometime in December from June 2021 to December 22 and present these findings. And what we will be able to say at that time is we did these things and we either saw an increased utilization of housing choice vouchers or we didn't see an increased utilization of housing choice voucher, and that would set us up, give us kind of that permanent firm ground, we believe, and based on what we've heard from the attorneys, if we wanted to go the road of establishing an ordinance, a housing, adding source of income discrimination to our existing fair housing ordinance. So having said that, what we propose our next steps are, again, in February, as soon as we can get on a council agenda, we will provide the full report that we gave to you in December to the entire city council based on how you all approve or disapprove, we move forward. If you approved, we would get your help in appointing the ad hoc advisory committee, and then we would get to work. And so we'd implement this progress over the next 18 to 24 months and report back to you with the findings. So I will pause there and answer whatever questions you all might have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Whiteman, and we open up the floor for questions and or comments.
Ms. Watlington.
Ms. Wallington.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First, Ms. Wyman, I'd like to say you had me at utilization. I'm very, very pleased to see the thought that was put in to how we're going to go forward. I do agree with the metrics as it relates to quantifying the number of unused housing choice vouchers and then determining the utilization rate, which tells me that obviously we have already the numbers that tell us how many total we have. I do appreciate the monitoring, and I would expect obviously that we'll see a report out ongoing to be able to link between the programs and the results. So I think that this is fair. I think that it captures the need for data to support a SOIG ordinance should we need to come to one. And I appreciate your work on this one, and I look forward to seeing it move forward before council.
Thank you, Ms. Wallington.
Mr. Winston.
Mr. Winston?
Thank you. A couple of things. One, I think a big issue with source of income on the side of landlords has to do with the contract that they have to enter with housing, with HUD up in DC. And I know Ms. Weidman has on there to kind of monitor what's going on there. I think we need to, City Council needs to go a step beyond that. I think we need to really understand the issues that our constituents have with that contract and figure out how we can, whether it's intergovernmental relations or legislative agenda, be better advocates for changes there. A couple of other things. Ms. Weidman, you focus specifically on housing choice vouchers. And I believe I understand why, because that's, what we use, but that is only one source of income. And overall source of income discrimination is much wider than that. So I think whatever work that we do, while we should know about housing choice vouchers, we need to be quantifying the overall impact to the market, to citizens, and how we can deal with this issue comprehensively. If we just deal with housing choice vouchers, then we are not dealing with, we're only dealing with one element of a bigger picture. When that presentation was given, and in talking to housing providers, one of the number one thing that they say to strike fear in your heart is that rents are going to go up. I will say that that's not necessarily something that is a disqualifier, because remember, what we're saying is that we need certain amount of units at a certain rate, right? So if we need it at 30% AMI, if those apartments that are market rate and above have to go up a little higher, so that person who is paying $2,500 might have to pay $2,800. That's not necessarily a bad thing if we are getting the supply at 30% AMI that we need. So I would like to see some type of market analysis to be able to actually quantify what those rent increases might look like across the spectrum of rents in Charlotte, so that we could really start to say, hey, have informed conversations about potential impacts around policy. So those are things I'd like to see as we move forward to full council discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Winston, and I look forward to continuing the conversation. You raised a couple of interesting points there that I think will be addressed during the work of the group, and specifically about kind of how we deal with fair market rents, and particularly about other forms of rental subsidy. You're right. We just today I really talked just about housing choice vouchers, and one of the things we learned through our research is that this is where we have the most issue with the housing choice voucher. The other rental subsidies, people are kind of more willing to accept. So again, thank you for raising those 3 points, and look forward to updating you as we move through this process.
just to follow up, I think it would be important. I don't think we should waste any time. So as we're compiling that data for housing choice vouchers, we should be getting data back as well on the overall source of income discrimination numbers in the city, I would hope.
Yes, sir.
Very good points, Mr. Winston. Thank you for your input. Mayor Pro Tem, do you want to weigh in?
Sorry, no, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Bakari?
I think there's an action right now, which is to propel this to a conversation of full council. Is that correct, Mr. Chair?
Yes, part of it, yes.
Okay, so I am going to vote to support that, but I'm going to vote to move that forward just so we can have the full council conversation. I know this is a problem on one side of the coin. On the other side of the coin, I have concerns about the unintended consequences for market forces as we do this, paired with the fact that it's just, I've said this, and I know it seems a little broken recordy at times, but, you know, we spend so much of our time on really addressing the supply side, essentially, of this conversation, and not enough on the demand side. And I'm using those words in terms of, you know, how is housing and all of that stuff connected into the broader jobs and training plans that we're creating, all the things that create upward mobility, not necessarily a place to afford while people are where they are. And, you know, while you have to do all of those things, I would expect us to have more balance in the topics that we address, because we always seem to be on really one side of it. And I understand why. Of an impossible situation, it's the slightly easier side to address. So I look forward to this debate as a full council, and I do hope staff hears me in that we need to spend as much time focusing on the tools that have a vertical silo and make them operate a little better versus connecting these things horizontally to achieve what our ultimate goal is, which is upward mobility, not necessarily allowing somebody to exist at 30% AMI without having a broader plan to bridge that gap.
So, Mr. Bakari, I, as your housing staff, hear you loud and clear, and I look forward to continuing the work with Ms. Dodson and her team and our other my other colleagues, so that we can do just what you said, is really help people achieve that upwardly mobile, economically mobile ladder. So thank you for always highlighting that.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I think you're spot on there. You read in between the lines of what I was saying. I believe the touch point is particularly between you on the housing side and Ms. Dodson from the new strategic jobs plan, with sprinklings alongside there of training, of transportation, of all the wraparound services needed to achieve an outcome of upward mobility.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Very good comments, Mr. Bakari. I agree wholeheartedly with you as well. Ms. Wallington?
I'm sorry, I was going to say exactly what Ms. Lotman just said. I think that I agree it takes both in this particular committee. We're focused on the housing side. I'm not on the economic development committee, but I would like to see exactly what you all have said, a handshake.
Point well taken. So if all hearts and minds are aligned, can I get a motion to accept the staff report and recommendations to forward to the City Council?
So moved.
It's moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. I'll call the roll. Graham, yes. Winston?
Yes.
Bakari?
Yes.
Iso?
Yes.
Wallington?
Yes.
It's been approved. We march forward. Thank you, everyone. All the comments I thought were really, really pointed and useful to building a better product. So thank you, everyone, for your comments and your input. And lastly, we will have a year in review. One of the things we talked about at our December meeting was really celebrating a lot of the success that we've had as a housing committee. We do the work. We keep our heads down. I'm not saying this because she's here, but I mean, I think we really have a strong administrator for our housing program, second to none in the nation. And I just wanted to kind of get an update on some of the major highlights from 2020 so we can kind of start telling folks what we're doing. So Ms. Wyman, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you again, Mr. Graham and committee. Let me applaud you for the great work that you all do, and again, for the strategic direction that you all give us. Again, I'll keep this really brief. You heard a lot of this at your, I think it was January 4th, strategy session, but I'll just rehash just some of it, and particularly, let me just say that the data I'm sharing with you for the purpose of this report is, just as Mr. Graham said, is your 2020 data. What you received at your January strategy session was a broader set of data, so just keep that in mind. But just to remind you, your charge is you review and you recommend policies related to comprehensive initiatives designed to create affordable housing and provide opportunities that align with creating great neighborhoods. So linking back to some of what Mr. Bakari said earlier. In 2020, you all did a number of things, believe it or not, during the midst of a pandemic. You heard from LISC, our partner, in terms of expanding the supply of affordable housing. The mayor appointed, and you all kind of paused these meetings, but you kept going during your housing task force meetings. In that housing task force, we reviewed our Housing Charlotte framework. You all have received a report out on that. You tackled your CARES relief allocations. We talked about source of income discrimination, and we talked about reentry housing. As I said during your task force, if you'll go to the next slide for me, please. Go one more for me. One more slide, please. You met from April to July, and I believe that was every week, so that was a really heavy lift, and so great discussions occurred during those meetings. You recommended how we use our CARES Act dollars, and you also, again, you talked about evictions, you talked about some regulatory and legislative issues, and you talked about homelessness and supportive services. And what I would just say is, over your CARES Act, just as a reminder, you've assisted over 5,000 households between rental and mortgage relief. You've also provided some funding from your CARES Act to A Roof Above to continue to address the homeless issue. You provided funding to the Salvation Army Women's Shelter. So all very great work and much needed work during the midst of a pandemic. If you'll go to the next slide for me. You received a briefing on several briefings over that time. We talked about accessory dwelling units. We talked about the issue of short-term rentals. We talked about how we're working together on our vision plan for our quarters of opportunity, and that really gets back to what Mr. Bakari just lifted up. That's not just about housing, but that's how we work across the organization from an economic development perspective, from a transportation perspective, and from a planning perspective to really improve our neighborhoods and improve the lives of the people who live in those neighborhoods. If you'll go to the next slide for me, please. We tackled the issue of nuisance abatement from a minimum housing code perspective and a non-residential perspective. And we don't talk a lot about this work, but this work is really important in terms of creating safe, diverse, and vibrant neighborhoods. The Code Enforcement Division that operates out of your Housing and Neighborhood Services Department, they continue to do their work during the midst of a pandemic. They addressed minimum housing code issues, they address zoning issues, and they address non-residential building code issues. We still have a lot of work to do there, but they kept working during the midst of the pandemic. If you'll go to the next slide for me, you just heard information on our Legacy Commission and how we propose to move forward, so I won't spend a lot of time there. If you'll go to the next slide for me, please. We talked about a NOAA rental subsidy. that you all created, and we are to bring back to you what that would look like from a citywide perspective. So that work is not lost, and we look forward to getting that back in front of you all. That is another way to address households earning 30% and below who may not have a housing choice voucher. So we're trying to do both and through this work as well. If you'll go to the next slide for me, you allocated your housing trust fund allocations. You didn't miss a beat there. In 2020, you allocated funding for a little over 1,400 units. That included some shelter beds, so you didn't forget about addressing the homelessness as well. That included your NOAA support as well, and you leveraged $10 million of Charlotte Housing Opportunity Funds from LISC, our partner, and so that's really important there. If you'll go to the next slide for me, it's also important that we're addressing affordable housing through our voluntary zoning process, and that's when developers voluntarily include affordable housing in their proposed developments. And so during 2020, we are anticipated to receive 530 units, affordable units, through that process. If you'll keep going. What's often left is the work that you do around helping homelessness, and so as I alluded to earlier, you continue to work you allocate it, so not only through your CARES Act allocations, but every year from the federal government, you receive what's called emergency solution grant dollars, and so you allocated those dollars to organizations like Community Link, the Friendship CDC, Safe Alliance, supportive housing communities, and the relatives. And through that work, over 6,000 people were provided emergency shelter in 2020, and 190 individuals were assisted through rapid rehousing. So again, thank you so much for working across that spectrum of housing. You also allocated, if you go to the next slide for me, please, housing, your federal dollars. Again, this is another federal program that you all receive every year, housing opportunities for persons with AIDS and HIV. It's called your HOPWA funding. Through that annual allocation, you've assisted a little over 500 people, helping them find housing, tenant-based rental assistance, and with supportive services. If you'll go to the next slide for me, the Westside Land Trust, they're a new organization in our city, and so we want to help them get off to a great start. You've provided assistance to them most recently in the Lakewood community, where they are repurposing 2 historical homes that will be used as ADUs. They've had that groundbreaking, and that would not have occurred but for the support from the city of Charlotte. We're also helping them with some site development costs on 3 lots along Mr. Graham, the Beatties Ford Road corridor. So that's a good news story as well. And we've alluded to Corridors of Opportunity. We also have funding set aside for them in the Corridors of Opportunity work. If you'll go to the next slide for me, I won't spend a lot of time here, but this is just another depiction of how you've helped some of our homeless service providers through your CARES Act. You got a special allocation of CARES Act, ESG, and HOPWA dollars, and so this is how we assisted in the homelessness realm with those funds. Let me pivot. If you'll go to the next slide for me, please. This doesn't come to the committee. It's not really committee work, but it is encompassed within the Housing Neighborhood Services Department. It is great work. These are kind of some of our unsung heroes. They don't get a lot of attention, but they have kept our 311 center alive through the pandemic, which is so important. You can see there the number of calls they answer over the year. One of the things that we were able to operationalize as a result of the pandemic, we were working on it, but the pandemic forced us into it, is we were able to stand up a stay-at-home call center so that we could properly social distance in the call center and still keep our call center going. So we missed no operating days during the pandemic, and so really thank the men and women who operate our call center every day. The Community Engagement Division, again, if you'll go to the next slide for me, you don't hear a lot about this in the committee, but I really appreciate all of you all who, and I think that's probably everybody, who comes to we have our neighborhood retreats. Normally, we would have those kind of in-person sessions where we work with neighborhoods to help them plan their work. But this group, again, did not miss a beat. We really figured out how to go virtual. We continue to award community grants. We continue to do Keep Charlotte Beautiful. And so I really, really thank the people in the community engagement. Again, this is housed within Housing and Neighborhood Services for continuing to help our citizens our residents during the pandemic. As we look ahead to 2021, we celebrate these successes. We take a quick breath and we continue to look toward 21 and continue to do our work. We'll be out. We anticipate more stimulus funds. You've heard about that. More rental relief, and so we're working through tweaking the program that we already have, tweaking it based on kind of the new guidelines that are coming out, so that we can be ready to go when we get those funds. We have released our Housing Trust Fund and Charlotte Housing Opportunity Fund requests for proposals, and so we'll be bringing those to you in the March, April, May timeframe, so that we can allow those developers who are applying for tax credits to meet those deadlines, and we fully anticipate to have some who are not applying for tax credits as well. So more to come on that. I mentioned the citywide NOAA rental subsidy that we owe you. You heard about the Legacy Commission recommendations today. We look forward to getting to work on those. You all will remember that you all approved a timeline for how we will work through reviewing our non-residential building code, so that will be back in front of you. We've got to bring the re-entry housing work back in front of you, and so our team has been meeting on that since we were here, I think, in November on that one. So a lot of work continues to go on in this committee and in your Housing and Neighborhood Services Department, and working with our colleagues across the city. So with that, I will pause and really, really just thank you all and thank the wonderful people across the city who helps to get this work done every day, and take any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Ms. Wyman, for that very comprehensive presentation of our 2020 year in review. I think it goes without saying that we did a lot of work, a lot of good work last year. So I want to thank you and your staff, and I also want to thank the members of the committee because it was Tarek and Renee, who was not a member of the committee but served on our task force, the Mayor Pro Tem, and Ms. Wallington, that really kind of provided the energy and the fuel and the imagination needed to be successful. And one thing about a new year is that we get to do it all over again. So I look forward to working with the members of the committee, working with staff as we kind of continue to take more steps forward. Any questions, comments before we adjourn from the members of the committee?
Ms. Iso.
Ms. Iso?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just also wanted to thank Ms. Weidman and her staff, because as the chair indicated, I think we have had a housing effort like none others compared to our peer cities. And I think what's unfortunate sometimes is that we don't maybe get recognition for it because it doesn't get worse. The problem is getting worse with the pandemic, but we have peer cities that have 3 times the homeless we have here in Charlotte. And so not adding a lot more homelessness to our numbers because of all the good work that staff has done sometimes doesn't get recognition it deserves. So I just want to thank you for all that you've done to support the initiatives that the council has said we wanted to move forward. Thank you to you and your staff for your professionalism and your hard work.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Any other comments, Ms. Wallington, Mayor, Mr. Winston, Bakari? If none,
Yes, I do.
you're recognized.
I wanted to echo what Mayor Pro Tem just said, but specifically though, in an effort to help get this message out, because I hear comments about particular things related to housing in the city that are truly just false about the work that is being done. Even amongst people you would think have a little bit more familiarity with what's going on. And so in an effort to help move this message, I would like to ask that we do a push of some kind, whether it's through the neighborhood organization contact list or through our community partners, I'd like to ask that we do something from a communication standpoint to highlight this work and to really make sure that the story is told, because we see a lot of this misinformation, and I'd just like an opportunity for our residents to get the data on it. So I'm not sure if that's a question for Office of Constituent Services or not, but I would love to see that.
That's a great point, and that was part of the reason why I wanted this presentation to be made. I also have already spoken with the city manager about how we communicate some of our successes. We got a TV studio in the basement of this building that, from my perspective, is underutilized. It's a great vehicle for us to tell our story, to have Ms. Whiteman on talking about some of the issues relating to housing, what we're doing about it, bring in individuals from the community, some of the stakeholders. We just got to communicate our successes, because there's a number of issues out there in the community that, as you said, Ms. Wallington, is just simply factually incorrect.
Maybe, if I might add to that, Mr. Chair, even producing a video, I think that's a great idea, Ms. Watlington. If we could, and Mr. Chair, talking about our video capabilities, if we could produce a video with all of this great information that we can all share on our social media platforms. And when people ask, well, what are you doing? Because they only see what's visible, which is hard. It's hard to see. But it's, if anyone just sat through that presentation that Ms. Weidman just gave, it's a lot to absorb. And if you had it done in a video form with little music, or, mixed it up a little bit, I think it would be a great tool to distribute to the community.
Point well taken. And so I will get really creative with the manager's office and corporate communication, really in terms about, again, how we tell our story on a number of issues, but specifically, obviously, housing. Okay. So all hearts and minds are aligned. So I think it's time to ask for a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. That's it. Let's celebrate the inauguration. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.